this is. I know these are some of our product areas.
This is the Azure station, so anybody that wants to learn how to use Azure products can come to Microsoft.com/learn and learn how to use Azure for free.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I was just talking with Karina and James about that. So walk me through this process, I guess.
So when somebody comes to Microsoft.com/learn, they can click on Introduction to Azure. This is a great first step with learning how to use our products here. All of the modules are relatively short, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, so people can do them on their lunch break in their spare time. Really easy to use, and they can learn lots of different content for free.
Amazing, amazing. And so this are people just able to come up and go through the process?
Absolutely. So here when people come up, they can talk to us. We can show them how to use Microsoft Learn. They get some free swag.
Nice.
We've got lots of
stickers.
prizes that we're giving away today as well. We've got some great t-shirts. We're doing digital quizzing. It's a lot of fun stuff here.
Amazing, amazing. What's been the most popular, I guess, maybe Azure section that you've seen so far in terms of people getting started?
I would say the most popular Azure learning path is Azure Fundamentals.
Azure Fundamentals, okay. Yeah. So check that out. So this is Microsoft.com/learn.
Yeah.
And then is it learn/Azure, or is there just a link to Azure?
Learn/Azure.
Learn/Azure.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Very cool. What's kind of been the reaction for people coming up to you on the booth for the last few days?
I would say that people are mostly surprised that it is a free offering. People are always a little bit skeptical that we're giving something away for free, but we absolutely are.
So now since we have the solution project and
okay, so there's some background noise around us, but but that's okay. So people are surprised that it's free, but it is, right?
It is free.
And this is getting updated. I think that's the best part, right? This is links to our documentation. You can watch videos, you can get hands-on labs. It's a really good experience.
Absolutely.
Really good. Awesome. So other things we've got going on in this area, just to kind of talk about, we've got people doing lightning talks.
Yeah, we've got lightning talks. We've got interactive mural that's happening here. People are coming up and talking to us about what they want to learn at Build, and we are magnifying those common themes onto this cool mural wall behind us.
Amazing, amazing.
Yes.
I think we're actually going to take a little bit of a look at that a little bit later.
Great.
And so what types of, in addition to, we've got the fundamentals track, and what other things can people do about, what other things are people doing on Azure?
So they can become certified. So if somebody wants to get a certification, we have lots of different role-based certifications for Azure.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And they can get information about that certification on Learn as well?
Yes, they can. They can take all of the training they need to become certified.
Amazing.
For free.
For free. Okay, so they're ready to go take the test, get that done without having to go through a lot of the process where you might have to pay for an expensive book or something else. They can get everything they need to know to get certified for Azure, which for a lot of different roles is important.
Yes, absolutely.
Great stuff. So again, I mean, I guess. Have you been surprised by how many people have been kind of coming up to this area? This area has been so busy.
It has been just energetic the whole 3 days, and so this has been a great area.
I love it. I love it. No, we can kind of feel the energy now. I mean, we're on day 3, and so people are kind of getting a little bit, tired. There's been so much stuff going on, but yet this area has still been really excited, which is exciting because clearly the people really want to, learn and get more knowledge. I mean, which is fantastic, and it's great that we have resources like this. Like I said before, I'm actually in one of the videos in the fundamentals video.
You are? I thought you looked familiar.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm if you click on that, if you go to Microsoft.com/learn/Azure, you're going to see my face. So,
there we go.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much, Kendra. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we're going to be heading back right now to Scott Hanselman on the Build Live stage. Okay. Well